We're talking more ETFs today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's me, Adam. You are watching Steady Invest. Yesterday, we talked about ARK Invest and all of their actively managed funds. And today, we're going to be talking about even more US ETFs, specifically focused on long-term growth. Short term, we're going to have a lot of volatility, but we're trying to maximize long-term gains. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. We're almost to 100 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and drop a comment. Let me know if you're investing in any ETFs. Now let's get right to that video. Number one on the list, we have OGIG, O-Shares Global Internet Giants ETF. And this is brought to you by Kevin O'Leary. He is the chairman of O-Shares, and most of us know him from his role in Shark Tank. OGIG is an ETF that seeks to track the performance of O-Shares Global Internet Giants Index. It's designed to provide investors with the means to invest in some of the largest global companies that derive most of the revenue from the internet and e-commerce sectors that exhibit quality and growth potential. The expense ratio is 0.48%, and I'm a really big fan of the holdings as well. So they have Alibaba, Amazon, Tencent, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Zoom, Snap, Shopify, so a bunch of big players in the world. And what I like as well is how heavy the weightings are for the US and China, where I believe a lot of growth is for the future when it comes to the internet. And we also have companies like Mercado Libre, Pinterest, Roku, CrowdStrike, JD.com, Twilio, DocuSign, Zscaler, Netflix, Etsy, Ubisoft, Okta, MongoDB, Spotify, Salesforce. So there's a bunch of awesome internet companies in this ETF. Looking at the graph, ever since its inception, it's been trading sideways up until the March crash this year. And since then it's gone up 115%. Next on the list, before I show you, I have three different ETFs. They're all very similar in the sense that they all invest in blue chip companies, except for the weightings of the companies are different as well as the fees that they charge. For those that don't know, a blue chip company is a nationally recognized, well-established, financially sound company. They sell high quality, widely accepted products and services. They're known to weather downturns and operate profitably in the face of adverse economic conditions, which helps to contribute to their long record of stable and reliable growth. That being said, the first of the three, we have JKE, which is iShares Morningstar Large Cap Growth ETF. And this was introduced to me by my best friend's dad. Shukran ya ammu. Scrolling down, we see the fees are 0.25% expense ratio, and the holdings are stellar. You have Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia, Visa, PayPal, MasterCard, Adobe, Netflix. You probably know every single one of those companies. Nike, Qualcomm, Google, AMD, and the list goes on. Number two of the three, we have Vanguard's Mega Cap Growth ETF, ticker symbol MGK. The expense ratio is 0.07%. Looking at the holdings, you have Apple, Microsoft, again Amazon, Facebook, Google, Visa, Tesla, Nvidia, MasterCard. So more or less the same companies. Actually, this one's a little bit different. This one has Apple, whereas JKE did not. As well, you can see this one has 100 holdings, whereas JKE only had about 45. And lastly, we have Vanguard Growth ETF, ticker symbol VUG, and the expense ratio is 0.04%. And just to give you an idea, that means $4 of fees every $10,000 invested. Looking at the holdings, they're all very similar again. However, this one has 257 different holdings. So remember, they're all very similar. However, their weightings, the amount of companies, the fees, so take that all into consideration. At that point, it's just a personal preference or choice. If we take a look at all three different graphs, we can see they all look almost identical. Next on the list, we have Vanguard's Mid Cap Growth ETF. The expense ratio is 0.07%. And the main reason I like this ETF and mid caps in general is because they provide the stability of large cap companies, but the growth of small cap companies. It's kind of like a mix between both. There are some recognizable names as well. You see Dexcom, Lululemon, DocuSign, Chipotle, Twilio, Twitter. A lot of these mid cap companies will turn into large caps over time, and they have so much room to grow compared to companies that are already big right now. And these ETFs track indices, and it's not like they just put any random company into the index that it follows. And the graph speaks for itself. If we go back to 2009 April until now, it's about 426% gain. And while we're at it, we also have Vanguard's Small Cap Growth ETF, ticker symbol VBK, and the expense ratio is 0.07%. And when we look at the graph from the last decade, let's pick over here, 523%. As well, if you want to invest in the S&P 500, my favorite US ETF for that is VOO because the expense ratio is so cheap, 0.03%. So $3 every $10,000 invested. And it goes without saying, if you want the NASDAQ, the most popular one for that as well is QQQ. And the expense ratio for that is 0.20%. And those are my favorite growth ETFs right now. Please always remember that growth is always priced at a premium because investors expect big things. And that you should do your full due diligence before investing into any ETF. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button for the video, it helps me a lot. As well, drop me a comment, let me know if you like any of these ETFs I talked about today. And if you're a new investor in Canada and want to get started, use my links below if you like free money. Again, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next video.